The Premier League are finally trying to do something about this FFP problem that we are having with so many clubs this season. And it's an interesting one, to be honest. It's an interesting one that they're trying to tackle it in this way. But in the recent days, there have been a lot of articles talking about a spending cap being put on the Premier League, especially after a lot of Premier League teams voted for it to be put in place, other than three teams, which are quite obviously Manchester City, Manchester United, and for some reason Aston Villa. But in my head, I feel like because they've just got to kind of the top in a way, they wanted to, do what everyone else did over the past 5 years. But this is such a key moment in football, especially because this could be the full-on downfall of Man City. We all know what Man City are up to. We all know what they've been up to. We all know what they've been doing. Okay, no one, other than the one person that commented yesterday on my post about how to fix it, saying that there isn't any proof yet. Which I'm sorry, but you are just deluded. Like there is no other excuse for that. I'm literally set on the fact that they have breached at least one charge. Maybe not 115, but there's got to be at least one on there. And yeah, I mean, now the Premier League are here to tackle it. Now the Premier League are here to kind of sort this situation out. And I think a little bit late, but it's happening. And this is the thing: a lot of people, they're not too happy, especially Man City fans, with this new rule. It would basically mean that your placement will determine how much money you are given to then use towards transfers and stuff. Just for example, Southampton last year came bottom of the Premier League. They will get around 100 million to play with, whether that's all towards transfers or obviously, just towards paying wages and some transfers as well. But they're finally making a change. And, it is late in a way because there's been so much stuff that has happened. But you can't expect people to just draw up plans and get them out there. And it's not a quick process, as we've seen from them kind of doing Man City's charges. But I think it's an essential change. I think it's going to be a very, very good change. I do think that the main culprit behind this type of stuff happening is kind of Man United, Manchester City, maybe Arsenal in a way as well. Obviously, we have stayed very, very good with FFP rules and stuff like that, especially with like loaning in David Raya instead of buying him, all that kind of stuff. So we've done it in a very smart way. Obviously, City have had a lot of problems, a lot of backlash, and a lot of people saying, calling for them to be demoted. I don't know how far down, but a lot of people were saying, well, the amount of charges, it could go down to, the fifth league in English football and, restart basically, which I don't think, will happen. I think that in this situation, the Premier League are making some new rules, new changes. And to be honest, I'm terrified that Man City are going to find a loophole in one of these changes. That's what I'm feeling like right now. I don't trust Man City in a way that I don't think they would take their charges on the chin. I don't think they would hold accountability. I think they've already, lied to Pep as well. I mean, Pep said last year, if this is true, I don't want to stay here. And they all said, no, it's not true, it's not true. And we're getting closer and closer to Judgment Day. And this is where it gets very, very interesting, because what is going to happen to Man City after this type of stuff gets put in place? I mean, what are they really going to do? I mean, I know they've bought all the players now and whatever, but let's say they get hit with 115 charges, they go down, everyone leaves. Then what? Because it could really realistically end up in them getting put down. Then even when they come up, there's a limit, and they can't do what they did, the last time and all the times they've been doing over the last couple of years, and that's it. And they won't really have that much leverage. They won't really be able to use the money card as much. And, whatever happens to them now, I think will be deserved. I really sincerely hope that, there was a universe where they would deduct them points in the season, just how they've deducted Everton twice and Nottingham Forest. I think that it would have been a good call just to take 10 charges on at a time. And they didn't. And this is the thing. I feel like the Premier League are now trying to make a change. They're trying to make a change in the format and the way that Man City has kind of bullied the Premier League in a way, because they're so scared of them. And you can really tell from these situations, they're so scared of Manchester City. And this whole new rule could pretty much get rid of the big problem that we have with Manchester City, and that is the fact that they just keep spending, spending, spending. They have done over the last couple of years, maybe not as much in the last 2 seasons, fine, but over the last couple of years, if you add it all up, then it's insane. So that's what I think's going on here. I think that they're definitely trying to make a change in the league, and I think it's a very, very, very good thing. It does baffle me a bit that Aston Villa are kind of like going against this rule. I'm curious to know the reason. I don't know the reason, obviously, but I'm curious to know. I mean, what is the kind of situation at Villa where you think that you need that type of stuff still, because they've done pretty well without having to spend 300 million or whatever. They've done very, very well, and it looks like they're going to get top four this season. They've done a double over us, basically ruined the league for us. Thank you for that, Unai Emery. But I don't get why they're the ones piping up in a way. I can see why United are. I can see why City are. No other club did. I'm surprised Chelsea didn't pipe up. Jesus Christ. I'm honestly shocked that didn't happen. To not see Chelsea's name on that list, I was in shock. But yeah, I mean, it's a good change. I think good things are definitely coming in a way, and I hope that we can tackle this problem where people are literally just buying the league. And we've seen it so many times over the last 7 years. I'm just tired, and that's the thing. And obviously, it comes from a side of bias as well. Like, obviously, I want Man City to be deducted points the same way Everton and Nottingham Forest have this season. I want that to happen, obviously, because I'm an Arsenal fan. And if they would have literally have just got deducted 3 points, it would have been a much better world. If we go into next season and they just get deducted like 30 points, I would have much rather them do like 10 now and then 20 next season, because the way that they've been getting away with stuff and all these like weird little things, they've been using loopholes and stuff. And now, as I said, the main real fear for me is that these new rules, they can actually cause problems. They can cause problems with new loopholes that they can find. And these people are very, very smart with a lot of money. Like, they're going to have people working on this hour after hour, day after day, and there's going to be hundreds of them, maybe thousands. And this is the situation that you're up against with Man City. And it's so much money that it starts to become a bit of a joke, basically, because we all saw a few years ago when they had their other court case, how many lawyers turned up to that court case. They literally came like squadded up with like 100 lawyers. Do you know how mental that is? Like, I don't even know what's going to happen for these 115 charges. I just sincerely hope that justice is served. I hope that next season we can go into a more clear-cut kind of FFP system where people ain't using these little things here and there to get around it, and there's a full-on spending limit, there's a spending cap. Obviously, business will have to be done a lot better. There will have to be a lot more of them. We'll pay, over the next 3 years to 5 years or whatever. There's going to be a lot of that. Not that there isn't already. I mean, we're still paying off Declan Rice. Do you know what I mean? That's the type of situation that it is with football. But what I'm saying is the business aspect is going to get a lot more difficult. It's going to get a lot more congested, I feel. I feel like there's going to be a lot more panic buys because people are going to be realising they got this budget. Normally you do have a budget, don't get me wrong. But let's say you're Chelsea, right? And, you're a top 6 club in the eyes of everyone, and you fall short and you come 8th. Okay, and then you got Arsenal and Spurs and, everyone else, and they're coming top 4, top 5, and they're getting way more money on their budget than you. Then it becomes a serious problem for some teams. Not so much the smaller teams, mainly just the big 6 teams that are starting to fall off. So there's so many different factors with this situation. I'm very happy it's happening. I don't know for sure if it's going to work out the way I want it to. I just hope that in some way they will format this and we can combat things like City and we can stop the Premier League from being a farmers' league, which is a whole separate video in itself, and that will be made. Don't worry about that. But this is what I'm saying. I think there's just been too many years now where it's been dominance, dominance, dominance. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like no one else has spent money, because we have spent money and, whatever. But it's the fact that they're up for 115 charges. We're up for none. So it's like, I'm not really going to sit there and beat it down on Arsenal. But it does just baffle me with this whole, system now and how this has happened a lot. Like Everton, Forest, now City. And then there was loads before that. There have been loads back in the day as well where, it just gets breached. I just think the system is just there to be breached. And with this spending cap that they want to put on the Premier League, I think that will tackle that, and I think that will do a very, very good job of keeping people in their place, not overspending, and hopefully avoiding these types of situations where a team just builds a juggernaut of a squad, basically off the back of 115 charges, which in my eyes it diminishes the whole point. And this is why I don't really care when Man City win the league, because they just don't have that kind of aura around them. Like when Leicester won the league, I think everyone was happy for Leicester in a way, but it was like, wow, like this team is special and stuff. And when you look at City, like, okay, yeah, these players are amazing, but like, we know how you got them. That's the thing. We know how you got them. We know how it works. We've all been sitting here looking at the news articles week in, week out. Oh, City are going to get charged here. City are going to get charged there. Still hasn't happened. But yeah, the only thing we can really do now is get to next season, see how this plays out, see how this plays out in the summer transfer window as well. It's going to be very interesting to see how many clubs do their business in a more efficient way, because obviously you got to remember, down the bottom, you're not going to be getting as much money. At the top, you will be getting a fair amount. I'm not too sure on the figures right now. I'm pretty sure on the figures at the bottom, but other than that, outside of that, I'm not too sure. Also, lads, I know the background is just not up to par yet. I'm still doing it. I've been so ill. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. I'm trying my hardest to whack out as many videos as possible in this week. I'm going to be filming about 3 more times after this, and hopefully be uploading a few more times today. But yeah, the background's going to be done up very, very soon. We've got a nice plant. We've got the frame blacked out Dortmund shirts, some scarves and stuff. I'm going to put up some shelves, some lovely shirts. But yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been supporting me on all my other social medias as well, because it's been going so well. And also, I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I also run a second project called He's a Baller, and it's all about footballers. And in the past month, we've actually had 10 million views on Instagram, which is great. And if any of you lot are watching this and you follow He's a Baller as well, you are a special person to me, honestly, because there is not that many people that know that I run He's a Baller, and I just wanted to explain that so that you can all go check it out. It is something I really am working on hard. I want to help young ballers. So if you are one and you want to get your clips shared, head on over to He's a Baller on Instagram, send me all your clips, and we'll get something worked out for free. I'm literally just trying to help the football community with this one, lads. So yeah, thank you very much, boys, and I'll see you in the next one.